But first up is one of our larger dogs. His name is German, and he's about 7 months old. So that's right, he is still an adolescent dog, so he's going to get a little bit bigger, if you can imagine that. And he is a Cane Corso mix. He came to us as an owner surrender. They said that they just did not have the time. They couldn't afford to care for him, things like that. So he's here looking for another chance at a forever home. Hopefully for the rest of his life, we'll be able to find him a great spot. He is a dog that is still very young, so he does need to learn some manners, but he does have a couple of basics, things like sit, and he takes treats very gently. He's very friendly. But he's going to need to work on, some of his a little bit of counter conditioning with other dogs when he's walking through the kennels. Sometimes he's a little bit reactive, if you will. Doesn't have any issues with food, doesn't have any issues with toys. Does have a bit of a breed-specific problem with the drool and slobber. So if you're not a fan of big jowls and slobber and drool, maybe German or this particular breed would not be the best fit for your family. He can be a little bit nervous, even just coming in here. He was like a change. He was a little unsure, so it took some coaxing to get him in. So even though he's a bigger dog, he does still have a little bit of wariness and some new surroundings and things like that. He's a dog that's going to need a lot of exercise as well, so making sure that you're prepared to make sure that he's getting all he needs in that regard.
So he has some very noticeable red growths on both of his eyes. What are those?
So that's a medical condition that's commonly referred to as cherry eye. And so people tend to have 2 eyelids, but dogs and cats have 3 eyelids. And so the third eyelid is kind of prolapsed, creating that growth there. And that is something that would need to be surgically fixed. They just kind of put it back in place. It's really important because if you're not doing that, then what can happen is, because that third eyelid helps create like the tears and stuff, they get really dry eye. It can affect their vision and stuff long term. So that is something that an owner is going to have to consider when taking on German as their pet. That's something that they're really going to need to get fixed. Sometimes they might need to have it done more than once, but that percentage is relatively low. But overall, he's friendly. He's going to be a great addition, but you do want to make sure that you're have the time to kind of provide him with the training and the exercise that he needs, a little bit of socialization that he still needs as a 7-month-old dog, and making sure that you're going to be able to take care of his medical needs as well is going to be really important. If you think that those are all things that you can handle and you want to meet and potentially take home a German, then you're going to need to make an appointment to visit with him. And the first step to doing that is booking the appointment, and you can do that at visitfcac.as.me.